Hi there. Really exciting fog is in the day today.
It's interesting weather, isn't it? It's
It is.
really pretty further on. It's like little spiders' webs all covered in dew.
You can be anywhere, you know. You don't think that you are in the Normand or you are in the Sharlston. You can be anywhere. You know what I mean?
That's what we think as well. Once you get out here, you know, you can go so far without ever coming near a road.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's been quiet, so it's nice. I like this. I don't know. I'm from Poland,
Yes.
so the fog is, you know, I saw it all the time in the movies, you know,
All
and,
right.
and in the some history about England, you know, we know the London and the
Yes.
mist. Yes.
Yeah, in the days gone by, you know,
Yes.
the pea soupers we used to say.
So this is amazing. It's crazy. You know.
Don't you get fog in Poland?
Again,
Don't you get fog in Poland?
it depends, but you know, this is England. England is on the island, so you've
Yes.
got two different air condition, you know,
Yes.
from the east and from the west. It's changing all the time, so it is collapsing. So the country is very wet
I see.
all the time. My country is, you know, we've got one sea on the north,
Yes.
but it's going down to the south, and this is mountains, so it's much more different. Two areas different.
Right.
Yes. And so England is very, very, very specific. Yes, like
Yeah.
Ireland and also Iceland. Yes, all the countries from the west and north Europe, they are much more different because of the weather who are creating on the Iceland. You know what
Yes.
I mean?
Yes.
That's why we are have a raining all the time,
I
and this is
see.
specific
Ah, right.
place. And the mist is all the time in the October. I know that.
Yeah,
In
November.
October and November. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I didn't appreciate the seasons until I went to, where did I go? Barbados for a holiday.
all right. Yes.
And of course they don't get seasons.
Yes.
And I came back and I really appreciated the fact that we get the spring and the autumn.
Some
whereas
of
it's not
you-
the same all year round.
Some of you are running away from Great Britain and going to Australia or
Yes.
to South Africa or
New
different
Zealand,
place
yeah.
and have a warm weather.
Yes.
But after all, they say that they miss England because of the weather like this.
Different climate.
This
yes.
is very different. There's nowhere like
Do you
this.
like England? Do you like living
Yes,
here?
I like because
Good and bad?
it's fresh about the fresh nature. You know, the colors of the nature.
Yes.
It's different because it's all the time it's raining,
Mm.
and so the flowers and all the things around all the time are fresh because of the weather of the water. Yeah, so
How long have you been here?
4 years.
All right then, so you got to know it pretty well.
Yes,
then,
I've
yeah?
been anywhere.
Yeah,
I've been
you've been.
big Lake District. I've been in Scotland,
Oh.
Wales. At August, I've been in Cornwall. I spent 5-6 days on cycling. You know,
Right, yeah, yeah.
so yes, I like this country.
We go to North Yorkshire. I have a caravan near Thirsk.
All
and
right.
That's a different, you know, sort of environment around there.
Yeah,
And then you come home, you think, well, this is pretty as well, but
Yes.
it's pretty in a different way there. You know, the Howardian Hills
yes,
are really, really beautiful, and Rydale, there's some beautiful areas around there. It's sort of midway between the Dales
Yes.
and the moors, and I like going on the Yorkshire
All
moors
right.
because it's so bleak and everything.
Some
so,
of the things in the country are different. Some of them are the same.
yes.
Yes, like you are going that city, like you have because you have the same architecture. Yes, of houses. So everywhere
Yes.
the same churches like the.
Yes.
But that's what is different. I think is only because of the weather. Like you are on the north, so it's more colder. Yes. If you are on the south, so it's more warmer. Yes.
Yeah.
And about the landscape is also different. The middle is like for the coal miners, mountains. Yes.
Well,
South
this-
is
yes.
different. So
Yes, rather than the mill towns, if you go
Yes.
sort of to west, you know,
Yes.
sort of
The
towards
people
more
are
towards the
different.
Western Lancashire.
yes, and the
Yes.
people are different.
Are they?
The place of of the workers, of the more richest people. Yes,
Yes.
everything is
yes.
different.
Yes, climate's different though. I mean, it's not as cold as it used to be, you know, in my lifetime. So, you know, it's all changing all the
Yeah.
time and changing very quickly. I
People
find as well.
people have to know that weather is
Yes.
changing every day, every time.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
because they think if there's summer, there's supposed to be summer. No, it isn't. It
No,
can be changing
no.
every time.
You would never. We've had lots of hotter summers than we've had,
Yes.
you know, recently because you used to get sort of one nice day and everybody'd go to the coast or
Right.
something because you knew the next day it
Yes.
probably would be raining. where it's more consistent now. The weather seems to be warmer
Since
for longer.
3 4 years, I think
Yes.
it's changing much
Mm.
more.
Yes.
Very, something is changing in the nature. The people
Yeah.
know that they will say that because of the production, about the economy, they think that maybe there's a reason that the weather is changing so very, very quick.
Yes.
But
We-
I don't think so, because it's also about the normal weather. Yes, this says, you know, remember at Iceland when
Yes.
the volcano
Yeah.
yes, everything changes for the moment. For yes, 2 3 years, everything changed around the air condition,
Right.
everything.
In Iceland, you mean? It sort of changed around.
Yeah, because the volcano, and not only there, because
Well, that was a very dramatic thing, wasn't it, for a
if the
long,
volcano
long
is
time?
giving something in the
Yes.
ice, so
Yeah.
and the air, the breath, air is
Yeah.
changing, you know, because of the wind. Yes. So it's make a global, so it's giving more in the different place. So it's going to the England, and
Yeah.
in this sector it's
Yeah.
different climate of the weather. So you know, it's a chemistry, physical things, it's many things. So everything's all the time working, you know.
Yeah. When I was younger, when I, you know, like the towns such as Sheffield,
Yes.
you used to drive up from the south and it would be covered in fog because it was
Right.
so industrial. I mean,
Yes.
as I grew up, it was all coal mining.
Yes.
All this area would have been mining around
Yes.
here. So that's made a big difference.
I
as
know your
well.
history. I know that
Yeah.
here it was New Sharlston. Yes.
Yes.
There was a Sharlston. There was Newland. Yes.
Yeah.
Coal miner. There was Wheatwood. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
And there was a Crofton. Yes.
Yeah.
Featherstone.
Yeah.
Many,
Crofton, yeah.
many.
Yeah, lots, yes, yeah. I lived at Cutsite, there was one at Glasshoughton.
Yes,
You know, when I was
Glasshoughton.
a young girl, we went to visit
Yes.
there was a bread mill on the river, you know, Allinson's
Yes.
bread mill in Castleford.
Yes.
And when that's where I sort of originated from, and there was a big chemical works called
All right.
Hickson's, and the foam used to come from the river, you
All
know,
right.
and sort of it
Yes.
looked like snow. It was all sort of all in the area when we were younger. Of course, all that's gone. So there's great improvements in that respect, you know, for, you know, sort of cleaner
Yes.
air and such like.
Yes. Not many people know when coming to the country and living here and working, knows that 20, 25, 30 years ago it was much more different place
Yeah.
because of the coal miners.
Oh,
so
yes.
air condition
Yes.
was much more different. It was not like that. You go to the you see the parks. Yes, you
Yeah.
can go and see the nature. No, there was something different. People didn't care so much about the nature like now. Yeah.
I think that's the one thing about lockdown. You have really appreciated what you've got, and you've slowed down and sort of taken time to
Yes.
just think, you know, things you've taken for granted before. You think, no, you
Yes.
know, really, I'm
Yes.
very appreciative.
I-
So, what is your job? Do you mind me asking?
I'm working in the NHS supply and
Alright.
in the warehouse on here. It's not so bad.
No.
I know many people who are working there, just English people.
Yeah.
So I know about the history some
Yeah.
because they are talking because they're working there before the warehouse have been built
Yes.
in the beginning of the 90s. So 25, 30 years. Some of them have been working in the coal mines, you know, Selby, Castleford,
Yes.
Castleford, Wakefield,
Yes.
and many others. So they know how the history looks like. And when I'm talking about the history, your history,
Yes.
they're really happy about us. I know where I live, and
Yes. Sort
I
of.
had-
It's because you know you've taken the interest to find out. When I was a young girl, it was all woods, and I watched them build the M62, for example. that
Oh,
went
yeah.
straight through the middle of the woods
Yes.
where we used to
Yes.
play. So you've seen many changes in that
Yes.
respect, you know.
Yes.
And the housing development now
Yes.
is just incredible. There was nothing around,
Yes.
you know, and all in the
Yes.
last sort of 5-10 years, it's
Yes.
just exploded. I mean, this area was always a very poor area.
yes,
I moved to Wakefield and sort of South Wakefield, and that was
Yeah.
sort of a little bit more affluent. My children grew up there, so when I came back to live here, they thought, "Oh, this is so different," you know, from living
Yeah.
even just living sort of 10 miles away in a
Yeah.
city. not
Yes.
even 10 miles, 5 miles. You know, it was always sort of
Yeah, yeah.
nobody wanted sort of to buy land or live around here because it was so cheap. You know, but
Yes.
of course it's all different now.
You talk about the Nomia and you talk about the small villages here around.
Yes, well, Featherstone.
Yes.
I mean, I can remember going to Featherstone when my sister lives in Featherstone. I used to, this is the pits, you know, it's
Yeah.
really bad round here.
Yeah.
It's so poor and rough and everything, so
Right.
deprived, you know.
Yes.
Still deprived round here, it's still a deprived area. But, you know, I shop in Featherstone now and I think it's just got everything I need, you know.
Yes.
It's so different, I don't want to live
Yes,
in
it's
Wakefield
alright.
anymore.
This is
Get
good.
used to it, yes.
This
But
is
it's not a rich area around here. It was always sort of east of Wakefield. It was always sort of a poorer,
all right.
yeah,
Yeah,
demographic.
yeah.
Mm.
At the coal mine at times, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes, yes.
You work
Yeah.
very hard, but it was a poor.
Yeah.
The work was many
But coal
everywhere.
mining produced a good community. It produced a good community
Yeah.
spirit, and people were all for each other.
Yes.
Whereas when
All right.
in the times of like Margaret
Yeah.
Thatcher,
They
then it
yeah.
was all for the one person, and that's the one thing that she sort of killed off the coal mines, which now with environmental change that would have happened anyway.
Yes.
But she killed off in the country the fact that people cared about each other and the community spirit. It became that people
Yes.
only were interested in themselves and making themselves better and financially better.
Yes.
And
The-
that's
the place
changed.
where I'm come because there was a communism, very big communism, and about the situation, about the solidarity. So
Yes.
people, because I'm
Like
from
the
north,
Windsor time and
I'm from
everything.
North Poland, where the shipyards are.
Yeah.
So the people also were together, the workers together,
Yes,
because
yes.
against the politic frustration and other things. So
Yes.
when I'm working in the warehouse with my good friends, now everybody is more individual, focused on himself about it. So they think they are more than selfish.
Yeah.
And they're talking about the past when they were communers and people
Yes.
were together and they were
Yeah.
fighting about freedom, about better situation in this job. But
Yeah.
now everybody is different,
Yeah.
if you, I'm belong to the Unison, Unipa.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
now it's different, I know, I don't know if you know Steve Jones. Steve Jones.
No, I
No,
don't.
I don't know. He's chef of the Unison,
All right.
yes,
Yeah. Exactly.
and in my company.
Yeah.
So he tried to do something, help people in this workplace, and try to talk with them. But he said that it's very hard to do something,
Yeah, people don't want to get
ask to help, they are not nice because they're always shouting and do something. Why doing this? Why doing? But never try to help,
No.
And you think you're alone.
Yes.
You think you're alone, and he said where all the things from the past where people were together and the workers were together,
Yes.
where is go out?
Yeah.
And I see it in the material things, people
Yes,
go for the material
Yeah.
things and think
Yeah.
this is the lucky for them,
Yeah.
and they forgot about the people, about the
Yeah.
humans. Yes.
And when you come into lockdown, you think these things don't count. It doesn't matter that we can't have these things. You don't need to have a lot of the things.
Yes.
I'll sort of say we are very lucky in this country because I went to Latvia. I
Yeah.
went to Riga.
All right.
And I could not work out what was different about Riga. So even the young girl on the plane, when we were talking, we were asking her questions, very reserved, very hesitant. There is, and then when I got there, sort of even people in the hotel, the receptionists and everything, when you ask them questions, and people used to stare at you going down the road because it was January. And obviously, there weren't tourists about, and
Yeah.
we were sort of, me and my friend. And I think, there's something here that I'm not getting. This is a strange environment. People weren't open, people weren't talking generally
Yes.
like this. They were very guarded. And then I went, the last day we were there, we went to the KGB museum in
All right.
Latvia.
Wow.
And oh my goodness, that that really sort of changed my thinking completely. There was a young man that took us round and showed us things, and I was so I hadn't known about the Eastern Bloc, and I hadn't realised how relatively new that they were independent from Russia. And oh gosh, it changed. I was sort of banging the drum when I came home. I was saying, thank God we were never invaded. You do not realise how lucky we are, that we
Yes,
are a free
you
country and we
are.
have that freedom of speech. And then I realised that people were working out, were you Russian? Were you Latvian?
Yes.
Sort of, they were very careful, about what they said. There was still that air of suspicion that somebody could report you for what you
Yes.
said and take you away in the middle. I know it doesn't happen now, but take you away in the middle of the
Yes.
night and you never saw your family again. And people talked, reported you, and the things that
Yes.
happened, the
But
horrible things that happened in the
but in the
KGB
moment we've
museum.
got the same situation because about the COVID and the
Yeah,
lockdown, and now people believe
yeah,
and trust the government what they says.
mm,
Okay, and but they are looking to the neighbor if he's got a mask and
yeah,
if somebody have a distance, so they are
yeah,
shouting, or maybe they call police, or
yeah.
maybe and if you say
People
you
visit.
are my friend but you care about the mask
Yeah,
but you don't understand, but this is
mm,
something more bigger about
yeah,
keep us away from other people.
mm,
Because
mm.
I don't want to
We've never
say
had
because
this in this country before,
it's just a
it's
theory, but I know
yeah,
that it's working since I don't know 100 years ago, and the rich people who have a companies, and
yeah,
they always want to have a money, but when they saw the workers don't want to work because they have also some money, have a
yeah,
more better life,
yeah,
so they are talking
mm,
with each other and have some unisons, yes,
mm,
and they maybe they try to develop the intelligence and try to build some society and to try to be against the richest man, you know what I mean.
mm, mm,
So the richest man find out that maybe we're supposed to learn how they work, how they
mm,
are, and maybe we will give them something that they will not try to keep together, but they will
yeah,
split them, you know what I
yeah,
mean.
mm.
So they create football, and
Right,
hazard and other things because
right,
they thought the emotion that simply lucky things that make you happy for the one moment, they
mm,
will believe in that and they will go in this way, you know what I
yeah,
mean. So they
yes,
did it.
yes.
So in
I never thought of it
finally
like that. You're
they
right, you're right.
finally they go in the trap
Yeah,
because they felt alone because they have no money, they have some
yeah,
pleasure but it's very easy, so for the
mm,
moment you're happy but you're going back, and
mm,
you can't find any friends in your location because they're also poor, so
yeah,
they want to have a better, so they will
mm,
go to the chief of the company and they will say, I want to have a better, so he will
mm,
sort himself, you know what I mean.
mm,
This is how it works for many
yeah,
years, but
yeah.
when the coal miners were, so I think there was very good communication between people. So I
Mm,
think they find a way somehow to try to go to taking
yeah,
people
yeah.
away. So they
So there isn't
create some materialistic things.
there isn't public unrest. There isn't sort of civil disobedience in the
Yes,
country. Mm,
but I I try to show people that maybe they try to be coming back because the only
yeah,
communication and ideology when we
yeah,
talk together like
yeah,
now. So
yeah.
I will share with you about how I feel.
Social media, I mean, that to me is the biggest thing because people are like this on their phones and they don't talk to one another and they don't sort of
Yes,
meet up. They have these virtual friends and, friends online and what have you. And, they don't go out in the real world and, well, we can't meet up now, but that is made a big change. And I don't think it's so good for people's mental health.
yes. But from the other way, when was a poor times, people were more creative and they were
Mm,
more better, I think,
mm,
because they thought I don't need anything more, just
no,
simply
yeah.
going for the walk, like
My
today.
auntie, I mean, auntie's husband was a coal miner. They lived in a small terraced house, and she used to say, "This is our station in life. This is what we achieved. They didn't want for more. They were happy with what they've got." How
Yes,
she used to phrase it, their life. They were content with
yes.
their life. It's when you're not content and you.
After all, you will understand.
Mm,
After all, you will understand that Black Fridays and other
yeah.
things like that, and
Yeah.
doesn't make you happy because you
When
get,
you
but
look at sort of, I like watching house programs, and people sort of strove for certain things in
yes,
houses, and now 20 year on, they look awful.
yes,
They're
yes.
out of date and
So it
everything. So
looks
it's
like,
people.
so this is like a poison.
It is, and it's people sort of telling you what you should be buying and trying to, you might have a certain colour kitchen and then
Yes.
that gets a bit boring, so people
Yes.
say, oh no, now you need a white kitchen.
Yes.
And it's people telling you to buy different things all the time, isn't it? It's commercialism and
Yes. I just need to,
Coca-Cola and all of that.
yeah, just need the stuff to go to see the nature like this. I take a
Yes.
bike. I can go to the Cornwall.
Yeah.
I can cycle around, so make some
Yes.
pictures, and
Yeah.
that's it. What I need.
Yeah.
I talk with people, and I think it's more better than anything
Yes.
more.
Have you been to Nostell Priory?
Yes, I've been.
Yes.
I try to go
Plus,
now.
It's nice around that area as well, yeah.
I try to go now to see
Yes.
the folk in the Nostal purity, but even go I forward to this place, I see many other things, and I say
It
I'm
stops
losing
you.
my time. I cannot see anything because every
Yeah.
mountain, everywhere I see something.
Yes,
There
yeah.
was some ships, there was some people, there was a lady on the horse, some
Yeah.
cyclists. Now I see horses, and
Yeah.
all the time something.
It's just so nice. I mean, my partner, he's a milkman, my other half, and he goes out on a night time, and he loves it because he loves just to be outside, and
Yes.
it's so quiet, and he works
Yes.
in Leeds, and it's like a drug, because he's 70 soon, and he doesn't want to stop working, and he
Yeah.
works 3 nights a week, and it's his own business, and he loves it, and it's just this getting outside.
At my work, I have friends at your age, and
Yeah.
the guy is all the time with his wife taking a bike.
Yes.
He's still cycling, he's still
Yes.
walking, and when we look on him, I said, I'm doing the same, so I understand him. But the people who doesn't do this
Yeah.
say, "Wow, how can you do this? Wow, because you want to go out."
Yes, you just need to get
All the
out.
time.
Yeah, that's why I've got him cleaning all the carpets with a carpet cleaner today. So I
Yes.
said I'm going out for a walk.
Every week, every
Yes.
time going somewhere.
Yes,
It doesn't
yeah.
matter if it's raining or doesn't
Yeah,
matter. Only go
yeah.
to out.
We
Take
go
a
out.
switch switch off the
Yeah.
television and
Yeah.
just to see the landscapes.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe because someday maybe they will take it this everything and we will just live in the computers and everything what we love like this it will be lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope it's not.
You're making memories. That's what life's about. When you get older, you just look back on your memories. That is the thing that
Yes.
and places you've been. I was very lucky. I went on a lot of holidays, so I got nice memories of that. And that's
Okay.
and that's what, like you say, seeing different places.
So now I invite you to Poland to see my
Yeah.
country.
Yes.
I'm from the north, from Gdańsk, Sopot,
Oh, yes.
when the Second War was beginning and Solidarity was beginning, Lech
Mm.
Walesa, so
Yeah. Yes.
I really, really, really nice.
Mm.
Historic place, everything.
My
people.
daughter, she worked at Cedar Court when she was younger as a waitress, and there were a lot of Polish people there.
Yes.
And she got on so well. She was invited to a wedding in Poland and went over there. And she's not a demonstrative person. If I hug her, she goes like this. She doesn't like a lot of, not very tactile. And we were in the supermarket, and there was this couple, and she went over to them and hugged them, and she hadn't seen them for ages
Oh,
because she'd stopped working there. And they were a Polish couple, and I thought, I could not believe this, that
Yes.
she was, she got on so well, and there were people there, but they must have been all very friendly together.
Yes, it doesn't matter where we come from. It depends who we are.
It's the person who you relate to.
Yes.
And, yes, it was a like-minded person to yourself.
Yes.
I mean, do you know of a lot of Polish people around and about as well? Because
Yes.
you'll have sort of friends. And
Yeah, I know.
people
I got some friends, but many people they're afraid to have a relationship with
Yeah.
others. They're
Yeah.
coming for some reason, like just the money,
Yeah.
but they don't try to talk. Maybe some of them, yes, but I've got also that. I want to say that only we will try to keep away,
Yeah.
but I don't know because everything is coming from the television, from the internet. They're creating some fear. And they try to not to.
Well, it's always been the same. My family came over from Ireland because they had no money and they worked in the pits. My grandfather on
Yes.
my mother's side, my grandfather on my father's side came from Staffordshire and the Midlands, and they came for
Yes.
work up here. So it's always the same. People got to know that there was work at
Yes.
Castleford, Alton Bywater, and then they sent over other family members who came and worked, and that's where.
Yes, that's
So
the
it's
truth.
always the same people came for work wherever. There was no.
Yes. That's the truth.
Yeah,
Then we can check DNA, and you can find a way that in the 100 years ago you lived before in Africa, or you lived
Yeah.
in Germany. You say, some people says I hate Germans, but in the blood you've got part of German, so you
Yeah.
know
Mm,
it's ridiculous.
yeah.
If
I
you
must say, having said that, I've gone to a lot of places, and Germany isn't the one place I wouldn't want to go back to again. I did not like Germans.
yeah, they're
German,
different.
German. I mean, it might have just been my experience. I was really down in the south, in the sort of Black Forest area, but I wasn't made welcome, and it was the language. I
Ah,
thought,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
such a guttural language, you know,
Yeah.
and I thought,
This
if I
is
never hear it spoken again, that would be too soon.
this is not the poetic.
No,
This is not
it's
poetic.
not.
Even
No,
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 not like a French who's
no.
poetic, but German isn't.
Yeah.
Even the singing, what they are talking is all the time. Like,
Guttural. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So will you stay, or will you go back to Poland, or will you?
It depends. Now I'm working, and I just I think about going to make some trips. You know, look around the world. You know, going
Not as easy
forward.
now. Mm.
It's, I don't want to go back if I will be older, you know, because this is my place where I
Yeah.
come from. But for the moment, I just look around
Yeah.
and
So just
learn,
saving up money and
learn.
have you
Yes,
working out what you want
yes,
to do.
and learn, practice communication, other things.
Your English is
I've got
very,
my.
very good. I mean, goodness me.
Thank you.
Yes, but I mean, I think because we are such an insular country, we don't get television from different other countries, so we don't bother with languages. Languages to me, if I could have my time again, I would sort of say to anyone, you know, learn languages because that's what's useful to you. But sort of, you know, you're obviously abroad, people take more trouble
Yes.
to learn English or whatever.
Yes.
Whereas we don't, we just speak English in this country,
Yes.
and that's it. You know, we did a bit of French at school, a tokenistic gesture, but that's it.
Your language is the first one in the world, so
Yes,
everywhere, everyone.
But that's because the explorers years ago went and, you know, conquered the places.
Yes,
and
depends who
everybody
was
spoke English.
depends who was the first one, or
Yes.
even the Spanish, or the
Yes,
English, or the
Portuguese,
French,
yeah.
Dutch. It depends.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you've got very good English. That's
Thank
what
you.
I'd say.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yeah. Been lovely
It was nice to
talking
meet you.
you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Have a good day.
Yes, I'm Catherine, by the way.
Michael.
Michael.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Don't get too cold, Stan.
You know, I'm sharing with my photos on the Normanton Facebook. There's there's a Normanton page, you know, on
Yes.
the Facebook.
Okay.
There's a community about every people. So
Yeah.
yesterday I sent some picture. You can find some
Right.
because I will send today
Yes.
after all, so you will see me maybe if you
Yes, I'm
find
not
out.
on Facebook, but my other half is, because when I worked, I was a teacher, and people put things on Facebook, just sort of incidental things, and it got them
Yes.
into all sorts of trouble, and 4 people ended up getting sacked. So it, like, I can understand Facebook being positive in a lot of ways,
Yes.
but it also has a lot of negative.
We
sort
need
of
to have a
reasons for it.
control, and I just try to choose only the groups what I really like, and like on the YouTube and other things, because it's many things that I don't want to see.
Yes, yes.
I don't want to. I'm not, you know, sitting on the Facebook and doing like this. You know, it's like a lottery. What I will find, it's okay or it's not okay. I don't like this. I want to know what I'm looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
This is the best choice.
Yeah, because you just get sucked into different things.
Yes.
I mean, I really admire your confidence as well. You come across as a very confident, self-assured person.
Yes.
And I think that, you know, it takes a lot of guts to do what you've done. So come over to England and make a new life
Yes.
and everything.
All right.
So,
Thank you.
you know, good on you, because you're not sort of insecure in yourself, or
Yes.
don't have a lot of self-esteem. You know, you come over as a really well-rounded person.
Yes.
That you've
I
done this.
we have something to do in our life, and I think I need to learn and share with people
Yes.
about the good side of the life, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this something, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because people will forget it, and you know.
It's all about people.
Yes, that's all about
that's
it.
the most important thing.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.